We're back. Sorry, we lost connection. I finished it because I don't think anyone can hear anything. So
Computer glitch, but we've sorted that. Back under control.
do you have...
I've got a green light. Mate, I'm rattling now. Look, this thing's firing up. Do, do, do. It looks like one of those things that they can on a CD player, you know.
Yeah.
Doof, doof, doof.
Okay.
Right, okay, good to go. Right, let's go now.
What we were saying
Yep.
before that no one could hear was that you've taken off
Oh,
the
yes.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Because in the reflection of the sunglasses, people could see me saying to you last week, "Don't say that." I was doing hand actions, and we had a few people say they could actually see me doing that in the reflection of your glasses.
And I've got to say, it's very, like we're blokes, you know, blokes can only do one thing at a time. So we can either talk, but when you're rattling in the background, like I'm talking, but like I'm trying to decipher what you're saying, it's like I'm just going like, I don't know what to say. That's two things at the same time.
Don't say anything. That's what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
Don't say anything. Don't say any
That's
more.
really hard.
That means don't say anything.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right, so
Right.
we've got questions. If you have questions for us while we're talking, please write a comment and I'll see it on my phone and I'll ask Rick straight away what the question is. Or if you just got a comment, just let us know. Just bring it on. Thank you so much, Luke. We can hear us both.
All right,
Excellent.
you ripper.
Here we go. We might have sorted
Eighth
it by
time
the end of
lucky.
2020. Okay. This is our last live for the year. We'll be starting up again probably mid-Jan. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in January. As we said, we have a TV show shoot at the end of January. Very exciting. Rick will be working with Jennifer Hawkins on a TV show. And it's going to be really a lot of fun. He's been working out solidly to make sure he's really
good on
up
ya.
and ready to go. This tiny home that we're building for our customers has a bath in the deck.
Recessed into the deck.
Recessed into the deck.
Yeah.
And I'm really hopeful that Rick does not ask Jennifer to jump in the bath because I don't think there'll be enough room for the two of you. So. All right.
No.
So this week, some of the questions. Let's get going. So question number one. Do you build steel or aluminium trailers?
Well, initially we started off doing the steel trailers. I was using my actually company that do all of my structural steel work on the high rise and whatnot. So they actually built all of my trailers. But what we found was the overall weight was a problem. We're starting to push the boundaries when because we've got to, as a lot of you know, we've got to stay under 4.5 tonnes. So we've actually now, with the new trailer manufacturer, we've actually swung now over to aluminium trailers. And the beauty of that is that we drop off about, what do we work out? Chatting with Chris, we worked out we knocked off about 450 kilos off the actual weight of our overall weight of the tiny home. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's going to be good on the tyres and everything.
Oh, we already put we've already upped the specs on all the running gear up to 6 tonne anyway, so I wasn't worried about that. Probably just more so that we can, just to be legal, so we can really load it up with more furniture, more cabinetry,
Well, that's right.
appliances and
So
whatnot.
they buy their tiny home, but then they start putting the fridges and all
Yeah.
the stuff in it.
Yeah.
That
It adds
really
up,
comes
yeah.
with it, and then they might want to move and forget
Yeah.
that now they're over the weight limit.
Yeah.
So.
The first one, I can remember the first one we built were about 4.7 tonnes. So so I got a mobile weigh bridge in and we weighed it 4.7 tonnes. So to get out to Mudgee for our first exhibit ever, I had to actually start taking stuff out of the tiny home. And as I took each piece out, I had to weigh it. So I knew how much I was dropping off because it cost me a fair bit to get a mobile weigh bridge guy in. So, but ultimately, I ended up getting pretty close to the money and threw all that gear in the back of the truck. And so it was a pretty big setup by the time we get to the show, you know.
It's like a boat.
Yeah.
Throw it out over the side.
That's
and
it.
Going.
Yeah.
It feels too heavy.
Yeah. So anyway, a combination of some engineering developments and obviously swinging now over to the aluminium trailers. Really pretty excited about now how light we're going to come in at when we go for our next way.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
very exciting. And you're getting lighter too because Jennifer.
Yeah, good on you.
Well, I'll keep stirring you up all the time. Okay, next question. How much does it cost to register your tiny houses?
Well, because our homes are our trailers, are detachable from our tiny homes. So to register our trailers is about $140 a year. So it's not expensive at all. So you can there's two things you can do. You can either disconnect you can either jack the home up, disconnect the trailer, and drive it into town to get it registered, or just pay someone. Beer economy, slab of beer, and get them to come out and do a check on site. So you don't have to take your tiny home actually into town to the mechanic to get him to do a pink slip. Yeah.
So like a caravan.
Yeah, same as a caravan. Yeah, a caravan you've got to take to your mechanic or get him to come to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I see on your website that you can stand up in your loft. So how do you do that and that height and still say under height?
Okay. Well, the highest you can have a registered vehicle is 4.3 metres. So, because at the moment every other tiny home around, and any vehicle for that matter, you've got to stop at 4.3 metres high. So, because the trailers are actually all encompassing with the actual tiny home. Whereas because we've designed ours so the trailer is detachable from the tiny home, what that means is we've got a registered trailer carrying an oversized load. Now with the oversized load, we can go up to 3.5 metres wide and we can go up to 4.6 metres high. So a combination of putting in 100mm drop axles, recessing the wheels up into the tiny home, and then going the extra 300mm in height up to 4.6 metres high, gives us approximately 1.84 metres clear ceiling height. So if you're 6'2", happy days. In actual fact, I was just thinking with the tiny home that Jennifer's Hawkins coming through, I wonder how high Jennifer is. So I Googled it this morning.
Oh,
Yeah, bit of trivia. Jennifer Hawkins is, have a guess.
6 foot.
Yeah, right on the money. She's 1.8 metres high. So as long as she doesn't wear her high heels,
Yes.
mate, she can stand up in our lofts. There you go. I'd hate to see her bump her head. What I'll do, when she goes to walk inside, I'll say, hey, Jennifer, can you take off your boots? Because I don't want to scratch the floor.
Yes.
So leave the heels outside. Then I know she won't bump her head. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Got it all sorted, Dar. Staying ahead of the game.
Okay. You mentioned in a live that you're doing a DA to get your tiny home approved as a permanent home. How can you do that?
Well, according to most councils around Australia, for that matter, they won't recognise a caravan as a home. So you can't just sort of put a DA in the council on a vacant block of land and say, I want to get my caravan approved as the principal place of residence. However, because our trailers are detachable from the tiny home, so now we've got a relocatable home, and we can just detach the trailer and remove the trailer. So we actually put the tiny home itself on concrete stumps. So now it's actually it's a home now and not a caravan anymore. So it's.
Isn't there also in the Building Code of Australia book? Isn't there things like minimum room sizes, minimum ceiling heights, and things like that? Like your smoke detectors.
Yeah. You still got to meet all the. There's lots of council LEP guidelines you still got to meet. We meet the Building Code of Australia.
Being able to stand up in it and having that extra space.
Well, in actual fact, because this is classified as one room, and as long as more than 60% of the room is over 2.4 metres high, it's permissible. Yeah. So even though our lofts are only 1.84 centimetres high, which on its own wouldn't get approved as an actual habitable room, but because the tiny homes are just classified as one room, it comes in the criteria. Yeah.
Do you put Gyprock inside your homes because the walls are very smooth? What is it made of?
Yeah, no. Our structures are done out of the refrigeration panel. So, obviously, anyone that knows Gyprock, whether it's 10mm or 13mm thick, Gyprock is a very dense material and is so heavy. Hence, none of I haven't seen any tiny house builders build it with Gyprock on the inside. But because our structure is actually a refrigeration panel, so in other words, it's clad in Colorbond steel, so it's actually smooth. So what we do, we paint a special primer on the steel, which is wind spray. Surf mist is the colour it comes in initially. We put a special primer on it, so the rest of the coats of paint stick to it. So the smoothest you see is actually steel. But the beauty of the steel, like the ladies want to put some pictures up on the wall, you can use magnetic hooks.
That's right.
Yeah.
All up there with magnets.
Yeah. So you just and you can move them around, so you don't, so you're not knocking holes in your, drilling holes in your wall. Yeah.
Over here with the PowerPoints and the USB and these sorts of things, it looks. You think, oh, why is it sitting out off the wall? It's not flush, but that's to do with what the wall's made of.
Yeah, because the walls are actually steel. And early in the piece, this is one of our earlier homes that we built, to meet the Australian wiring rules, you can't, because the steel is a conductor of electricity, you can't have the cables touching the steel. So by putting them on the blocks, it moved the wires away from the steel. But we're now actually recessing with a special non-conductive blocks inside the wall. So now the PowerPoints are back to flush again.
And
instead
what
of
about those wireless switches? Are they going to be...
Yeah, we've actually, we now started incorporating those into our homes. The beauty of that is there's less actual wiring in the home, because you just need to get a, the power supply to the light. And then from there, in the light, there's a transmitter a receiver, and then your switch you can put it anywhere in your home. It's just a press button switch. Just stick it on the wall.
Wherever you want it.
That's it.
And
Love it.
the light on and off.
Love the stuff.
And it's a dimmer as well.
Yeah.
I've just put them in our new home.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
loving them.
Yeah.
Also, press tin. Cannot say enough about this. I absolutely.
Is that Bathurst they make that? Is it Bathurst?
Yeah, this comes from Press Tin Panels at Bathurst. They're our favourite. I know there are other companies, but we use them. Good regional supplier, and this is powder coated that comes to us like this. This is I think it's called just the classic profile, and I absolutely love it. But we can do other ones, but I just really love the Press Tin. It's really serviceable.
Well, initially we actually put it on to get our weight down, because it's very thin. It's less than a mil thick in thickness, and it's aluminium, so very thin, very light. But at the same time, because drive along the road, you might be going over bumps and rattling around and stuff. You're not worried about if you've got tiles. You're not worried about grouts dropping out. And not only that, I've never been a favourite of tiles behind your kitchen sinks and stuff anyway, because you get all the, all your fat and oil and stuff in the grout joints. So this is really easy to clean.
Yes, that's if you cook with fats and oil. Fat is good. But we like our crispy chickies. Okay.
And blokes cook too.
That's right.
Just
After
last week,
women being in the kitchen.
That's right.
I did the please walking now. So yes. Next question: how many solar panels can you install on your homes?
Well, we put the 300 watt solar panels on the roof, so they're 1.8 metres long and a metre wide. And because our standard home is 7.2 metres long, we can actually get on the flat section of the roof. There's a flat section on our roofs which is 1 metre, 1 metre wide. So it's a bit hard. So and then you've got the overall length of the roof is 7.2. So we can actually get 4 300 watt solar panels on the flat section of the roof. We can put more. We can do other. There's a couple of firms doing trailers with the solar panels on them, or we can just place them around the yard, in a nice, more permanent spot. Yeah. It doesn't have to be on a trailer. They can, just as long as it's all interconnected into your through your inverter.
Next question that we got was, I see on the Jolie model there's a number of beds. So we're in the Jolie right now.
Yeah.
Can they all sleep adults? So in there we've got 2 bunk beds.
Yeah, there's 2 full-size singles there, so they're 1.9 metres long. So adults obviously can sleep in those. So you get two beds there. You get another one up there, and obviously that's well and truly more than 1.9 metres. we actually for one of our clients, instead of making that a bed up there, because they've only got the 2 kids, so they're going to throw them down in the bedroom down the bottom here, and they're going to use the other area up here as their home office.
Yes.
So yeah.
And the design of that's excellent. Instead of having the ladder, which we've got sort of behind me over here that hangs on a wall and gets taken off and around, they're actually going to put their
on the bottom step here, the first step, we've actually made that a landing, so it's wider now. And then the ladder and the entry to the upstairs loft goes that way. So that way the ladder stays in position, it's out of the road, and then under the stairs they'll put, and rather than just lift up, got heaps of drawers and stuff like that. So you can go either way. So you step onto the landing, you can go up that way or up the staircase. Yeah.
So this model here being one of our first.
Yeah.
So now in standard, these models, these are all drawers that open.
Yeah.
We've got them as hinged lids, but we're now doing drawers that open out.
And we're also putting one extra step in, which drops the overall each step height there by about 40 mils. So it's not as high a step. Initially, when I did this, it was the roof up the top there's 45 degrees, so I did the stair at 45 degrees, so which made it fairly steep steps, and for a lot of people got bungy knees and stuff, it's a bit hard to manage. So we've put an extra step in there, which still allows us plenty of room in the tiny house in our 7.2 ones. We've got some 7.8s coming up, and we can go longer, but obviously even putting the extra step in, we've still got plenty of room in the lounge area of the tiny home.
Good. The guttering on the outside, how can you put the gutters on the sides of the home? A lot of people don't put gutters on because of the width, and still stay under the width.
Yeah, because we've got a pitched roof on our roofs, because we're trying to, I guess our style's like a Australian colonial sort of look, because I want the homes to look good on the outside as well as be functional on the inside. So hence I try to get a proportional sort of roof, and so it's like a cottage. So which means then you've got the fall of the roof line will go to either side. So then of course you get 150 mil half round gutter, and that 150 millimeters is wider than the 3 metre tiny home. So that takes us out an extra 300 millimeters overall, which gets us out to 3.3. But with our oversized load category that we come under, as long as we stay under 3.5 metres, we're good to go. So so it sort of works,
Okay. Do you need a permit to tow your home?
Okay, so that's what I was just about to say then. Because with an oversized load, you don't need a permit. It's all self-regulated. There's all go on the RMS website. There's all instructions to follow. You've got to carry a piece of paper that printed off the RMS website. You've got to carry that in the car. You've got to put oversized load signs on. The only real restrictions during the day is in the curfew times in the Sydney metro area. So you wouldn't want to take 3.5 metres wide on the road anyway. Trust me, I've been there.
Again, we do that first delivery.
Yeah.
So if it's somewhere where it's really not going anywhere, you're putting it in for your family, or it's on a weekend and things like that. You're not driving around Australia seeing the
Yeah, we don't see a tiny home and say come and pick it up. Like we actually do that first delivery. It's a complimentary service from Havenwood Tiny Homes. We'll do that first delivery at the moment. At the moment, yeah, complimentary. So we'll drive it to site, set it all up.
RMS website.
Yeah.
We find the right route to go to
Yeah.
your home, and then
Yeah, with the on the RMS website too, it actually talks about when you type in the oversized load, it gives you all the roads around Australia that you can actually drive on. So less than 4.6 metres, like bridges, overpasses, power lines, and also the width as well. So yeah.
Okay. The Cypress pine cladding that we showed last week on our new model, it looks pretty heavy. Does that push the weight over the 4.5 tonne?
Well, I actually got a bit scared. What happened was we started bunging the Cypress on. I thought, I wonder how much this stuff weighs. And my chippy said, I think this is going to be pushing the weight over the limit, Rick. So I thought I'll grab a bit of Cypress, and I went up and jumped on the scales with it, and worked out. It came in around, ultimately worked out about 4 kilos, 4 kilos per metre of cladding, which meant the tiny home was going to be 1.2 tonnes in just cladding. Anyway, so I was had a little bit of a hissy fit there for a second, but then I went and got some other Cypress that we put on our home that had time to dry and just in the weather and stuff, and so all the moisture had actually dried out of it. Went and reweighed it, and it was down to 2.2 kilos per metre of cladding. So, which meant that the overall weight of the Cypress on a home comes in around about 480 kilos.
But because you're doing the aluminium trailers now.
Yeah, so we're right. So one compensates the other, and that delivery admittedly is going to be a house, like a permanent position. So it's only that one delivery. Yeah, but I'd advise people on all this sort of stuff as we sort of building the homes. I've got a rough idea, if we're starting to push the boundaries with the weights and that, and then.
Yes. So we had a client just this last week who they're on a property and they want a whole landscaping plan, and so not just the tiny homes on the property, but the rest of it, the driveway in, the plantings, the design of that. So I don't know if people really know that, but we do that as a service as well. We actually
it actually came about when I was just on site chatting about, because it was a bit of a slopey house block. I was on 25, 50 acres or something, and the land was quite steep, so we're just sort of working out now how I was managing, how I was going to get it in, and ultimately I was going to have to float my bobcat in at the same time and do a bit of works just on site, just to massage the ground a bit so we can actually get the tiny house in comfortably. And sort of one thing led to another, and then she realised we actually did the landscaping. So that's another service we do provide. Is we can do a whole landscape package. That's 1 acre, 2 acres, whatever it is. We can do the whole show.
Our architects do all of that for us.
Yeah. I do all the design. I do all the mud maps. And get that approved in principle from the clients, and then the architect makes it look pretty. Yeah.
And then we have a great lady we work with who does a lot of our planting designs and puts them on CAD and makes it look great. So we can do all of that. So not just your home, we can put in the fencing, the driveways, all the plantings.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people they get a bit sort of, I've got my tiny home. But it's going to, I'm just going to sit on this block of dirt, and I don't know what to do, and I want it to look good, and there is people that just sort of, because they haven't had that experience in design and layout and landscape, all that sort of thing, and they want it to look good. They just don't want to, stick it out in the flat and just leave it sitting there. So.
A lot of people are using these for Airbnb.
Yeah.
Things like that. So what we have here in our display area is when you come, if you can make it here and come and have a look, you'll see a lot of the plantings and the different things that we actually provide, the aluminium white picket fencing, and there's a lot of stuff. We do arbors and garden statuary and fountains and urns, and all of that we actually source and supply as well. So yeah, we've got some big plans next year for what we've got coming up here on our area, so to get that in mind. But next year, so this is our last live for this year, and we want to thank you all for sitting with us and watching, and we hope you'll engage a little more next year and comment and ask questions and come and see us. And I believe there's some lockdowns happening again, so we pray you have a great Christmas and that your family can get together. We're out of the Sydney area, so we don't have to worry about that at this stage, but we've got family that won't be joining us now. So, if you're in the same boat, we're thinking of you. And is there anything else you wanted to say before we...
well, I sort of had a funny story, but it wasn't so funny. Like, it's like, I was just chatting to my father-in-law at the top. I said to him, hey, Pop, I said, how do you know when to knock off in a day? And he said, I don't know. How do you know when to knock off? I said, when it all hits the fan and everything you turn just doesn't work, Like, I thought, okay, this afternoon before our live, I'm just going to whip down to the church. End of the week, we've got the carols happening, so I want the grass looking pretty. I've been sort of massaging it for a good couple of weeks now, getting it looking sharp. So I thought I'll just whip down, give it a dust off, make sure she looks looking good, you know. So half an hour job. Slip down there, get me edger out, cords broke. First problem. So I thought, oh my gosh. So I thought so I had to ring my daughter then to get access because my thumbprint wouldn't work on the security door to get into the building. So I had to get my daughter's number. So I used the church's edger, and of course its blades short as blunt, so it worked, but only just. So anyway, long story short, jumped in the mower then. And I've just put brand new blades, brand new mulching kit in it. This is going to look sharp, you know. And do one lap, beautiful. Next lap, I come over this little rise embankment, hit a big rock embedded in the ground, bent the blade, and now I've got a cut that goes. So, oh no, but hey, it's like a bad haircut, isn't it? By Thursday, happy days.
Rick, I have to say about the haircut, you haven't had a haircut in about 10 years, so you wouldn't know what that haircut look like.
Hey, Dale, if I let it go long enough, I'll get the comb over going. See, look, I've got this bit here. I'll just throw it over there somewhere.
Well, we wish you all a wonderful Christmas with your family, and we really look forward to working with you next year. Please send us your questions and comment on this video and let us know what you think. And if there's anything else you'd like us to bring to you in the new year, then yeah, just give us a shout out. So from myself, Shani, and Rick, all the very best, and we'll see you in 2021.
See you later. Uru.